So first off, I want to just kind of thank you guys for having me come out here and speak. For me, it's always a pleasure for me to come out and speak to kids and not just talking about what I was able to accomplish, but I think for what you guys are doing. Mentoring, in my opinion, is the number one most important thing. As a kid who grew up in Boston, I grew up in a single-parent household, and I wasn't, say, the greatest student in the world. So, I had mentors and tutors myself, and for me, it really shaped me in a way that helped me become the man that I am today. I attribute a lot of my success to how I grew up. And people always say, from East Boston, I was born, raised, walked these streets. I used to play basketball at the Dorchester Boys and Girls Club, Roxbury Boys and Girls Club, Shelbourne. I used to always go to Joe's Steak and Cheese, if anybody knows where Joe's is in Dudley Square, so they know me in there. But for me, the importance of education and tutoring and mentoring, and as a kid, knowing that, hey, maybe I do need a little help. And that was the type of kid that I was. I needed a little bit of help. And it really changed my life. Like I said, I grew up, in an environment no different than anybody else. My mother still lives in the same apartment that I graduated high school from. And it's in East Boston, 2-bedroom apartment, and she struggled, but she did everything she could do in her power to make sure I was doing the right things. But the people that really shaped and molded me were the people at the Boys and Girls Club for me, or were the people that, in my high school that mentored me. My basketball coach, Mike Rubin, who was the principal up at East Boston High School, but when I played, he was the basketball coach. And for a lot of us kids that grew up in single-parent households, he was a father figure to a lot of us. A lot of my mentors down at the Boys and Girls Club at the Allegiance in East Boston, a lot of those guys were the guys that I would lean on for advice. When I was a young kid, 12, 13, 14 years old, I would lean on for advice because it's hard to talk to your mother when you're a 15-year-old boy, and you might have some girl problems, or and it's hard to just talk to your mother. And my mother was a little bit different than most, so it was like, she was quite a character, that's all I can say, but she did her best to make sure that I was headed in the right direction.